The waters hide secrets. Below the calm surface, deadly creatures can live. Today, we're going to delve into the stories of the most feared human killers that have ever inhabited rivers, lakes, and oceans. Get ready to meet Gustave, the crocodile that became a blood legend in Rwanda. Lolong, the largest crocodile in captivity in the world, captured after spreading terror. And the mysterious Jersey shark, which inspired the movie Jaws and terrorized the American coast. This is a deep dive into dangerous waters. In the murky waters of the Ruzizi River, on the border between Burundi and the Democratic Republic of Congo, a legend has come to life. His name? Gustave, a Nile crocodile that, since the 1990s, has terrorized local communities and captured the imagination of the world. He measured over 5 meters long, weighed over a ton, and was responsible for more than 300 deaths. His name? Gustave, the killer crocodile, a predator that terrorized entire communities and was never captured. This is the story of one of Africa's most mysterious and dangerous animals. This is the enigma of Gustave, monster, myth, or both. Welcome to the Top 10 The Best. Here we explore the mysteries and dangers of the animal world. If you like true stories that seem like something out of a horror movie, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, because today we're going to delve deep into the legend of Gustave, the crocodile, who became a living nightmare. Gustave lived, or lives, in the waters of the Ruzizi River and Lake Tanganyika, a wild and unpredictable environment. The region, marked by ethnic conflicts and the Burundian Civil War, was a place where human violence mixed with the dangers of nature. Bodies of war victims were often thrown into the river, and some believe this may have influenced Gustave's taste for human flesh. In the 1990s, reports of a giant crocodile began to circulate. He would attack fishermen, women washing clothes, and even children who got too close to the water. Estimates suggest that Gustave killed more than 300 people, but the exact number has never been confirmed. His fame grew, and he became an almost mythical figure. The first attack attributed to Gustave occurred in 1990. A woman washing clothes on the riverbank was swept into the murky waters. Witnesses said they saw a giant crocodile quickly emerge, dragging her to the bottom. Her body was never found.
I was fishing with my brother in 1995 when we saw something huge in the water. Suddenly, the crocodile came out and dragged my brother. He was strong, but he didn't stand a chance. That monster took him in seconds. I'll never forget the look on his face as he tried to scream but was being pulled under.
In 2002, a boat carrying 5 fishermen was attacked. Gustave hit the boat with such force that it capsized. 3 men went missing that day. Survivors reported that the crocodile seemed to be hunting, as if it knew exactly what it was doing.
I was in the boat when it appeared. It was huge, bigger than any crocodile I had ever seen. It hit the boat and everything turned over. I managed to swim to shore, but my friends, they weren't so lucky. That monster took them.
Gustave didn't just attack humans. In 2004, a herd of cows grazing near a river were surprised by the crocodile. One cow was dragged into the water. Witnesses said Gustave acted quickly, showing his strength in overpowering the animal. Unlike other crocodiles, which attack out of hunger, Gustave seemed to act more strategically, choosing his prey carefully.
Gustave didn't just attack humans. In 2004, a herd of cows grazing near a river were surprised by the crocodile. One cow was dragged into the water. Witnesses said Gustave acted quickly, showing his strength in overpowering the animal. Unlike other crocodiles which attack out of hunger, Gustave seemed to act more strategically, choosing his prey carefully.
This behavior led many to believe that Gustave did not attack only out of hunger, but also out of territoriality or even habit. The civil war in the region, with bodies being thrown into the river, may have influenced his behavior, but this is still a theory. The last attack attributed to Gustav occurred in 2015. A young fisherman was swept away while trying to pull in his net. Witnesses said the crocodile seemed slower but was still deadly. Gustav has not been seen since. In 1998, French herpetologist Patrice Fay managed to photograph Gustave for the first time. Just look at this image. You can see that he is a true giant. Fay estimated that Gustave measured between 5.5 and 6 meters long and weighed more than a ton, a true titan of the waters. Determined to capture Gustave, Patrice Fay led several expeditions between 2002 and 2004. Giant traps were set up, and even an underwater cage was used. But Gustave, cunning and unpredictable, always escaped. He seemed to toy with his captors, appearing in unexpected places and disappearing without a trace. In 2004, National Geographic produced a documentary called Capturing the Killer Croc. The footage showed Gustave in action, highlighting his intelligence and strength. The documentary also raised an incredible hypothesis. Gustave hunted hippos, something extremely rare for a crocodile. Some experts suggest that the Civil War may have influenced Gustave's behavior. With bodies being thrown into the river, he may have associated humans with an easy source of food. But this is just a theory, as Gustave has never been studied closely. Gustave was last seen in 2015. Since then, his whereabouts have been unknown. Some believe he died of old age, while others insist he is still out there, waiting. Having never been captured or officially measured, Gustave remains a mystery. Gustave is more than a crocodile. He is a legend. His story is told around campfires, and his name evokes both fear and fascination. But without concrete evidence, he remains in limbo between reality and myth. How many people did he really kill? What was his exact size? These questions may never be answered. Today, we're embarking on a journey that combines mystery, danger, and a creature so colossal, it seems like something out of a legendary tale. This is the story of Lolong, the largest saltwater crocodile ever captured and measured by man. Get ready for a thrilling adventure through the murky waters of the Philippines, where wildlife and humans intertwine in surprising and often terrifying ways. We'll explore the region where he lived, the lifestyle of the local people, the disappearances that terrified the community, and the incredible saga of his capture. And of course, the ultimate fate of this giant who left an indelible mark on wildlife history. In the small village of Bunawan in the Philippines, life revolves around the river. This waterway is not only a source of livelihood for fishermen and farmers, but also the heart of the community. Here, the river is synonymous with life, but also with danger. The villagers live in harmony with nature, but always keep a close eye on the water. After all, this is the territory of gigantic predators, such as the legendary Lolong.
We knew something big lived there. The footprints in the mud were enormous, and animals kept disappearing.
My cousin was fishing and never returned. They said it was the crocodile.
There were rumors of a huge crocodile. People disappeared near the river, and no one could explain it.
These stories were not just urban legends. Something truly large and dangerous was lurking in the waters of the Bunawan River, and the community would soon discover that the danger was greater than they had imagined. Between 2009 and 2011, a series of disappearances shocked the community of Bunawan. Fishermen, farmers, and even children disappeared without a trace. Residents began to suspect that a giant crocodile was inhabiting the river waters. The legend of Lolong was about to become reality.
We knew it was a huge crocodile. The footprints and reports were consistent. Something had to be done before more lives were lost.
The disappearances were not random. Witnesses reported seeing a colossal crocodile in the river waters. The community was in panic, and local authorities decided to take action. It was time to confront the giant. In September 2011, a team of crocodile experts arrived in Bunawan. They had one mission: to capture the legendary Lolong. The team consisted of experienced hunters, biologists, and locals who knew the river and its dangers well. The traps were made of steel cables and baited with meat. The team knew they would need patience and precision to capture such a large and cunning animal. The traps were strategically placed in areas where the crocodile had been spotted, and the wait began. Finally, after weeks of waiting, the trap was sprung. Lolong, a 20-foot-long, 2,300-pound crocodile, was captured. The fight was epic. The giant crocodile fought with all his might, but the team managed to subdue him. The Bunawan community celebrated the capture, but also felt the weight of losing a predator that was part of their ecosystem. Lolong was not just a crocodile. He was a symbol of the strength and mystery of nature. Lolong was taken to an ecotourism park in Bunawan, where he became a worldwide attraction. Thousands of visitors came to see him, and he lived there for almost 2 years. But life in captivity was not easy for the giant. On the 10th of February, 2013, Lolong died. The cause was a fungal infection and heart problems, aggravated by the stress of captivity. His death left a void, but his legacy lives on. Today, Lolong is preserved in the National Museum of Natural History of the Philippines, a testament to the grandeur of wildlife and the complex relationship between humans and nature. His story reminds us that even in a modern world, there is still much to be discovered and respected in the wild. Imagine a peaceful place, where the sound of the waves mixes with laughter, the smell of the sea fills the streets, and entire families enjoy the summer without worries. Now imagine this paradise being taken over by fear. A silent killer lurks beneath the calm waters, attacking without warning. This story is true, and it happened in one of the most touristic regions of the United States. The summer of 1916 was marked by the terror of a predator that no one expected, the Jersey Shore shark. Welcome to Top 10 The Best, where nature's wildest stories come to life. Today, you'll learn about the case that inspired the classic film Jaws, and that still haunts the memories of American beaches. It was July 1916. World War I was raging in Europe, but across the ocean, Americans were seeking peace and quiet. With a scorching heat wave hitting the East Coast states, thousands of people were taking refuge on the beaches of New Jersey. In towns like Beach Haven, Spring Lake, and Matawan, the mood was festive. Men wore old-fashioned bathing suits, women paraded with umbrellas, and children ran along the shores of the Atlantic. Newspapers of the time called the region the summer paradise of the working men of New York and Philadelphia. The sea was seen as a safe place, until that year.
We always swam after lunch. No one talked about sharks. It was like being afraid of ghosts.
When the boy was attacked, I thought it was a joke. Then I saw the blood, and I never went in the water again.
Fear grew with each wave. Residents and tourists, previously relaxed, began to watch the sea with wide eyes. The first attack occurred in the town of Beach Haven on the southern Jersey Shore. Charles Vansant, 25, was swimming with his dog when he was surprised by something coming from the depths. He screamed in despair. People nearby heard him, "Help me! Help me!" When they pulled him out of the water, his leg was nearly torn off. He died minutes later at a beachfront hotel.
The sea turned red. I had never seen so much blood.
Just 5 days later, at Spring Lake, about 50 miles north of Beach Haven, Charles Bruder, an experienced swimmer and lifeguard, was attacked 300 feet from shore. Both of his legs were severed. A lifeguard rowed to him after hearing his screams. Charles died in the boat, bleeding in his rescuer's arms.
Blood spread like ink in water. The women on the sand screamed, some fainted.
The most shocking incident occurred 6 days later, 25 kilometers from the sea, in a freshwater river. In Matawan Creek, an 11-year-old boy, Lester Stillwell, was swimming with friends when he disappeared. The boys ran through the town shouting, "Lester has been pulled by a monster." A resident, Stanley Fisher, dove in to try to retrieve the body. He too was brutally attacked. He managed to be pulled from the water, but died hours later in hospital. Minutes later, another young man, 14-year-old Joseph Dunn, was attacked at another point in the creek. He survived but was seriously injured. Today, near the place where people were attacked in the river, there is an urban painting remembering what happened in 1916. Panic spread across the United States. Headlines read, "Killer shark on the loose." The government sent armed boats. Thousands of civilians and fishermen joined forces to hunt the creature. In late July, a 7.5-foot great white shark was captured in Bayonne, New Jersey. When its stomach was cut open, human parts were found. But to this day, some say we've never been sure who was really responsible. The 1,916 attacks changed the way we view the ocean forever. They created the fear we know today and inspired the creation of a cinema icon, Jaws. The predator was eliminated, but the fear, that lives on. Crocodiles and sharks are natural predators. They are not monsters, they simply follow their instincts. But in certain cases, some individuals go beyond the limits of nature and become living legends or real nightmares. Is Gustav still alive? Will there be another Lolong? What about the next attack on a quiet beach? In the waters, we are never alone. These are dangerous waters, and perhaps the worst is yet to come.